A massive shift just happened in Eastern Europe that changes everything for remote workers. Economy finance notes. Bulgaria officially adopted the euro. The EC confirmed opened land borders, and they launched a visa that everyone is talking about. For years, digital nomads skipped over Bulgaria because it was difficult to stay long-term. You had to deal with currency exchanges, and crossing land borders meant waiting in hours of queues. But as of February 4th, 2026, that era is over. The country has hit a historic trifecta that transforms it from a hidden gem into a primary European hub. First, the land borders swung wide open last year when full Schengen accession kicked in on January 1st, 2025, meaning no more passport checks driving in from Greece or Romania. Then, just last month, the lev was officially replaced by the euro, stabilizing the economy and eliminating conversion fees for travelers. But the biggest piece of the puzzle arrived just weeks ago, when the government finalized the legal framework for a dedicated digital nomad visa. This isn't just a rumor anymore. Authorities in Sofia have published the specific income thresholds and application rules, and they are surprisingly achievable compared to Western alternatives. It is a calculated move to attract high earners from outside the EU who are tired of the rising costs in places like Lisbon and Barcelona. Let's look at the concrete proof that makes this official. As Sofia Globe recently highlighted, the headlines are confirming exactly what we suspected. The text explicitly outlines the new reality, where Bulgaria has joined the Schengen zone and the euro is now the standard currency. Focus on that income requirement highlighted in the report, which states that eligible applicants must earn approximately 31,000 euros annually. This isn't a random number, since it is calculated as 50 times the national minimum wage. Visa Photo dates this development to early 2026, validating that we are looking at the very latest immigration policy. This document reveals that the door is open for non-EU citizens who want access to the entire Schengen area, without the massive price tag of France or Germany. Seeing it in black and white confirms that the government is serious about competing for global talent. Breaking down the numbers, that 31,000 euro threshold works out to roughly 2,580 euros per month. For a remote software developer or a marketing freelancer based in the US or UK, this is incredibly accessible. Most Western European nomad visas now demand 3,000 or 4,000 euros monthly, so Bulgaria is undercutting them intentionally. You also need a clean criminal record and valid health insurance, which is standard. But the real appeal here is the tax structure. Once you become a tax resident, you are looking at a flat 10% personal income tax rate, which is one of the lowest in the entire European Union. Compare that to the progressive rates in Italy or the complicating tax brackets in Spain, and you see why financial experts are calling this the Balkan tax haven of 2026. The math just works better here. We are tracking these visa updates daily as governments change their rules. If you want to stay ahead of the curve and find your next space before the crowds arrive, make sure you are subscribed to the channel. We dig through the paperwork so you don't have to. Money is not the only factor driving this trend. With the euro now fully integrated, the day-to-day friction of living in Sofia or Plovdiv has vanished. You pay for your coffee, your rent, and your groceries with the same cash you use in Paris. The infrastructure has caught up too. Internet speeds in Bulgarian cities consistently rank among the fastest in the world and often outperform the UK and Germany. We are seeing co-working spaces open up in the ski resort town of Bansko, which has already become a legendary spot for nomad festivals. You can snowboard in the morning and take Zoom calls in the afternoon. And because the cost of living is still roughly half of what you would pay in Western Europe, that 31,000 euro income allows for a luxury lifestyle. You aren't just scraping by, you are dining out every night. We need to be realistic about the bureaucracy, however. This is not a visa on arrival. You must apply for a Type D visa at a Bulgarian consulate in your home country before you even book your flight. The processing time can take between 4 to 8 weeks, so do not leave this until the last minute. Once you arrive, you have 2 weeks to convert that visa into a residence permit. It is valid for 1 year and can be renewed if you still meet the income requirements. One critical detail is that you cannot work for a Bulgarian employer. This visa is strictly for those with foreign income sources. If you try to take a local job, you void your status immediately. The authorities are strict on this distinction to protect the local labor market while still bringing in foreign capital. The arrival of this visa signals a permanent change for the region. We are likely going to see a rapid gentrification of neighborhoods in Sofia and Varna as thousands of remote workers flood the rental market. Rents will rise, and local coffee shops will adapt to English-speaking customers. For the early adopters, this is the golden window, where you can get in while prices are still low and the community is still forming. But for the local population, the transition to the euro has already sparked inflation fears. Adding a wave of high-earning foreigners might accelerate that tension. We saw exactly this happen in Lisbon and Mexico City. The government is betting that the influx of spending money will outweigh the housing pressure, but it is a delicate balance. In 5 years, we might look back at 2026 as the year Bulgaria officially became the new digital nomad capital of Europe. Bulgaria has laid its cards on the table with a visa that demands attention. Whether this becomes the next big migration wave or just a niche option depends on how smooth the application process really is. Thanks for watching, and if you found this breakdown helpful, hit subscribe for more updates.